Thanks everybody for coming for the seminar with LegalMate. My name is Ali. I'm going to do a quick introduction. I am founder and CEO of LegalMate. We've been working in legal tech for the last 4 years, pretty deep in the Clio ecosystem. I'm a certified Clio consultant, and previously I have done different startups and venture capital. So I've been part of this game for a while and love helping attorneys and different parts of the law firm and legal world become better at their craft at what they do and helping more people through that. Today we also have Jeff. I'm gonna let Jeff introduce himself. So Jeff, go ahead.
Sure. Thanks, Ali. So, hi, everybody. So, my name's Jeff Forte. I am an attorney in Connecticut and the owner and founding partner of Forte Law Group. My practice is a very unique practice. We have a very niche practice where we exclusively represent families that have a child with a disability to advance their child's special education. We also do a little bit of juvenile defense work, but we're primarily known for special education law in Connecticut.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff. Today I'm just gonna go over a quick agenda. I'm gonna go over why people use Dialpad and what's the power of Dialpad. I'm gonna go over AI and law firm, overview of our integration, and then I'm going to be interviewing Jeff in the end, asking him a bunch of questions. If you guys have a bunch of questions on how Jeff uses AI, Dialpad, our integration, and how he thinks about it, that would be a great time. One thing I will also add is I think Jeff is on the very, very forefront of using AI and law. He's getting his certification from Berkeley Law in that too. So I always go to Jeff for a lot of recommendations and just ask him questions because he's just very, very versatile and understands it very deeply. So if you guys have any questions as we're going through it, please stop me or Jeff to ask those questions from us. So if you don't know what Dialpad is, a VoIP system that is pretty well built out. It's become one of the top ones right there with RingCentral. It does voice, text. It has a very quick porting service. It has built-in AI transcript, so you don't need to record your call. It will just transcribe your call right there and then. It's built into it, no extra pricing, unlimited amount, which is very amazing. It's got desktop, mobile, and computer apps, so you can use it in any form that you want. It also got an IVR, so that's if you press one, press two, press three, and it's got an open API, which means that you can build on top of it and you can do a lot more with it. That's just an overview of Dialpad. It's a great VoIP system. If anyone has questions about that, feel free to ask that right now before I jump into the next part of this seminar. Okay, I'm gonna jump straight into our integration and what we do with Dialpad. So one of the first things that we do is every time you make a phone call, we will automatically create a call entry for you inside Clio with the matching of a contact and the matter. There's two ways we do matter matching. One is the latest matter that you have, and the other one is the one that was last worked on. So those are the way we match your matters if you have multiple matters. But if you have only one matter, we will match it to that contact. We also pull in your full call transcript. So everything that you talked about inside the call, we will pull it inside your call log inside Clio. This will allow you to use a full text search inside Clio. So if there was a word that you used inside a phone call that you remembered, but you can't figure out which call it was, you can use the full text search inside Clio to look for that because the transcripts are all going to be in there. We also provide AI summaries for you inside that call log. So after you finish a call, we will transcribe it and then we will use the AI to summarize the call, whatever it was. So make it really short. So if you're just reviewing all of your calls, you will understand what the call was on a very high level. And then we go a bit deeper than that, where we will also do AI structured notes. So this one is more of in depth of, hey, what the call was about. And then we'll make subheadings. So just imagine if there was somebody on the call with you that was taking notes and doing a really great job. This is what the AI will do for you. The next one, this one is, I know Jeff and I talk a lot about this, is automatic time tracking with AI description. So after you finish a phone call, we will also automatically create a time entry for you. But not only that, we will also pull in what the description was from the call. In this case, talked about court dates and confirmed what it was. So that will be part of your description. So when you go out to bill for it, your client will automatically know what the call was about instead of just being like, hey, we just had a call. Text message sync. So if you use Dialpad for text messaging, there's a lot of different reasons why you would want to do that. We will also pull in a text message thread for you and create that for you. A lot of different attorneys use this to bill for text messaging. So what we do is we will create a daily log for it with all of the text messages in there. And that way you can go back and review what the client was talking about. The primary use case that we see is a lot inside immigration law firms where texting is very much a main way to communicate with your clients, and this becomes really helpful in that. The next one is emails. So after you finish a phone call, we can also automatically generate an email for you. That usually includes what you talked about in the phone call and any next steps that come from it. So this way you'll never start off from like zero. There will always be something to start off the email with, and you can edit it, you can copy and paste it and send it out to your client. A lot of people use it like one attorney kind of put it how funny way for me, which was called the CIA email, which was like save your ass email after a phone call. So they just copy this, edit it, and send it out to their client. The other cool feature that our platform has over others is we allow you to do AI prompting in our platform. What that means is essentially after a transcript comes, we can do different things from it. So that's like the ones that we come out of the box is the AI summary, the email, and the call notes. But you can also go further in there is you can ask it to classify the call. So classify as an intake call, client call, follow up, inquiry, whatever you want it to classify it. So it will classify that phone call for you and put it in there. It can automatically generate an email draft. It can add more context about your law firm. So in Jeff's case, he does a very niche practice. So we have added that prompt in there so the AI knows that he's practicing that type of practice that allows all of his AI summaries to be a bit more dialed in rather than being a lot more general. So this kind of in the end becomes a very much a automatic system for you that works behind the back. And so you never have to be like, oh, did I take the notes for this phone call? Did I record it? Are my attorneys, if you are working on a bigger team, know what's happening or your paralegal? So this allows bring it all together. Okay, so that's what our integration does. And now I'm going to jump straight into talking to Jeff and interviewing Jeff a little bit. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to get Jeff as the main spotlight and get him just to introduce himself in terms of like how he found about LegalMate and what got him attracted right off the bat.
Sure. For those that are here and then the evergreen listeners that listen to this, Forte Law Group is essentially like a consumer type of law practice, right? So when you think of other law firms that have a B to C clientele, where the consumer in every conversation that you have with them is really important to the advancement of their case. We want a need to serve the purpose of capturing the call, capturing intelligence and action items from those calls. Okay. Whether it be me, my intake provider, my paralegal, my executive assistant, or the lawyers that work at Forte Law Group. So if you're in that kind of consumer clientele, this is a really good program to use. And in full disclaimer and disclosure, I am here voluntarily. When Ali asked me to do this, I immediately said yes because I'm just so excited about this program. So let's get into it more. So that was the need, right? Someone here, I believe they mentioned that they're using Corvum. I heavily researched Dialpad. Let's start there. About 2 years ago, we were not getting anywhere with another vendor that syncs with Clio, Vonage. It was really terrible. We did interview Corvum. We found that Dialpad had the most functionality and integration out of all of the seamless integrators with Clio out of the bunch. As Ali mentioned, Dialpad does AI summaries. Dialpad does transcripts. Dialpad does recordings and action items alone without LegalMate. But the problem is that there's only certain functions of LegalMate, I'm sorry, of Dialpad that integrate with Clio. So the call log and the time log into Clio, but the AI summaries do not. And so if you have a heavy phone call practice where you're on the phone with clients a lot, LegalMate fills that dynamic syncness between Dialpad and Clio, and it's quite unreal. First of all, it captures all the time, which is great, so you don't have to enter it in. Second, it provides an amazing AI summary of the call. So if you have a lot of people on the team and you need to update them on the status of the case, instead of you entering in a note within Clio, all you have to do is use LegalMate, and the note automatically syncs in with the AI summary for everyone in the firm to see. It's quite remarkable how it works. I mean, literally, I think one of the questions Ali asked is, so how did we get involved with LegalMate? I received an email from Ali, and it intrigued me. It was a short and sweet. This is what we do. I went onto his calendar, booked something, I think the following day, and literally before the call was done, our firm was already onboarded and connected. So it's really like a plug and play, and it really serves a great purpose.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Jeff. You hit on what made you switch over to Dialpad. So that was going to be one of my questions. That was great. And when you integrate, what was one of the first thing that you start to see change inside your law firm as a practice of law and running the business? Some firms say, okay, they started to see an uplift in money. Some see uplift in efficiency. I know, like you and I talked a lot about that. Do you just want to hit on, okay, what was one of the first things that came for you right away when you integrated it? And I think Eddie, you might have a question. Please ask away.
Sure, yeah. So one of the things that we immediately noticed was that there is no delay or hang time in a phone call summary as a case update, right? Before, we'd have to manually add them in. And I was doing that. And, that's not the best use of an attorney's time. So then I hired an executive assistant where I would task him after every phone call, put this in. But again, that requires a human element. There's no human element here. It automatically does it. We taught it some things. We taught it some vernacular as well within special education to pick up on it. But really, it's really about, to me, having the summary best captured dynamically in real time for the whole firm internally to see and digest, so everyone knows where we're at with the client, or we're on a call with an expert. All those summaries really matter when we're advancing our client's case.
Got it. Thank you for that, Jeff. And if you had to mend legal mate to a future attorney that's working, how would you recommend them starting off that journey? Like, I know you're slowly growing your firm too, and helping in that environment of being able to monitor your intake person's call and all of that. I would love to just hear about, hey, if you're starting on one AI journey, like integrating AI inside your law firm, this is like a good way to start because it's like a very practical use of AI. And two, how will this help you as a manager of the firm kind of help it grow from that angle?
Sure. Okay. So for audience members that are just getting into AI versus those that are fully into it, I went to a Clio conference, I think 2 years ago, and one of the presentations, I usually go annually, was, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when AI will be more predominant in our law practices. So the train's left the station, and we all need to embrace it and use it ethically. And one of those ways in which to use it ethically is with closed AI. So it's not like teaching public consumption AI. So LegalMate is a closed AI provider. So that was important to me. You really just have to jump into one specific deliverable task, right? So Dialpad is excellent. Clio's excellent. It's a no-brainer if you're going to be using both of those softwares to use LegalMate to make them talk faster and quicker with each other. The other aspect with intake, right? We've trained our intake provider to be a client engagement specialist. So they really need to understand the area of law that we do, which is delicate. You're dealing with parents that are in crisis. We get to now fully listen to and see summaries of where questions could be answered and provide feedback to our intake specialists so that they become also better at handling calls and well-equipped calls. The other thing is if a client gets hostile or might swear or use language that's upsetting, it also captures that. So you could start to search, all right, did anybody call the firm and yell this week?
Yeah.
Right? Because that might be something that then requires a lawyer's attention if a client is in crisis, right?
That those are very good points. Kind of gonna jump a little bit from here into like where you see the future of all of this kind of going. You mentioned that guys here, the lawyers who are gonna use it are gonna succeed versus the ones who aren't, and it's just gonna make the work that you do a lot faster, more efficient, more better. Take Jeff from 5 years from now. Is he going to be doing what he's doing today the same exact way, or is your practice going to evolve as things keep coming in with AI? And how do you foresee that changing in that way? I guess like one of my broader question is, this is like everyone loves talking about this. Do you think an AI can do every job out there? Which I don't think they can, but I would love to hear your take on this.
Yeah. So I think first, if we go to the model rules of professional conduct, I can't remember which code it is, but one of them does state that we need to be up to date with technology, right? So it's my opinion that we do have to stay on top of how best and ethically to use AI. As Ali mentioned, I am taking a course to become certified in legal AI technology from Berkeley Law School. We use Gemini, we use Chat GPT, we use Microsoft Copilot, we use Claude. I really like Copilot. Most recently, we have used it to analyze discovery. I'll just use the word discovery
Yeah.
loosely and compare reports and deficits and concerns. We've started to use it to draft certain letters of representation. We use a lot of it for our marketing. I see it being used even more. And I think that from a document discovery analysis perspective, it can probably do it better than most associates can.
Yeah.
But I do think, though, that it is important to use closed AI. For example, Microsoft Copilot Notebook is HIPAA compliant, whereas Google's Book LM is
Yep.
not.
Yep.
So we're not going to be putting pediatric psychiatric records in Google. And then also your retainer agreements. You want to think about it. You want to think about a client acknowledging that you're using certain functionality of AI as an efficiency, but that you are using it so they're aware of that. And then you can't bill for it. So if it takes you 5 minutes to do with AI, whereas otherwise it would take you a half an hour, you can't obviously build a half an hour if that's what it used to take you. So there's lots of ethic considerations, and I'm certainly not an ethics lawyer, but I think a lot of it is common sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to open up to the floor. If anyone has any questions for either myself or for Jeff, I would love to hear from any of the audience members that are here. If they have certain questions, feel free to go ahead and ask.
Hi, Jeff. Ali, thank you for doing this. This is Eddie. I don't know if you guys can hear me okay.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I'm very much in search of a lot of AI. So one of the things that I've been looking into as well as AI receptionist. Is there any kind of thoughts on how this might work with an AI receptionist? And then does it also function well for new calls that are not in the contact, that are not in Clio already?
Yeah, I can
Oh,
answer the more technical question, and then Jeff, if you want to chime in there too. So we do sync all of your calls that are not even inside Clio. So like it will still create a call communication. You can still review it. It doesn't need to have a contact inside Clio. It's for all of the new calls that are doing intake. I know Jeff uses that too, just to see the intake calls that are coming in. That was the first question. The second one is for the AI receptionist. There's a bunch of them out there now, Eddie. One of the things I have somewhat of a hot take on this, if you may. I think like it's I think some of them have gone really good, but if you're using AI for reception, I don't know if your conversion rates are going to be as good as using a human. That's my take right now, but I haven't seen enough data for this to be very comprehensive. But yes, it will work with that too, that an AI agent can pick up your phone and it will transcribe that call and it will put it inside Clio for you.
And do you have to use a special VoIP system for Dialpad, or can you? So if we
Dialpad is a
have,
VoIP system. You have to use Dialpad to work with us.
and we would be able to purchase a VoIP phone system through there.
Yeah, yeah. They also have like desktop phones, if that's what you're asking, Eddie.
Yes,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah, they do. Bunch of the firms that we work with also have desktop form phones on their desk that you can pick up that work like a normal phone system.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just to piggyback to what Ali is saying, Eddie. Yes, I have voice over IP desktop phones through Dialpad. They're pretty standard stuff. And then there's a Dialpad app. What I have actually found is it also gives me a little bit of space from clients, because before I was using like my personal cell phone number, and then you're not capturing things. So now I religiously use the Dialpad app on my cell phone, and it equally captures the transcript and the AI summary when I use the app on my phone for Dialpad through LegalMate. As far as virtual receptionists go, there is one that I would recommend, highly recommend. It's called Capture Now. And I'm not sure what your practice is, but I've tried to break this virtual reception by mock calling in with hyper technical special education crisis questions, and it's unbelievable. It starts to ask, what school does your child go to, and what disability are you concerned about? It's remarkable. So I would recommend, if you're going to look into an AI receptionist, Capture Now. And the back end of your question was yes. So within Clio Communications tab, all the calls get logged with LegalMate that were made through Dialpad. And if it doesn't recognize the Clio matter, then it doesn't tag it to any particular matter. So then you can filter by user. So I have an intake provider, I filter by her, and then I could look at all the transcripts.
Awesome. Thanks for
Thank you.
that. I know Chris had a question. What are you using the various AI software apps for? Do you prefer one for general legal queries, one for legal documents slash pleadings and motion generation, another for practice management assistant, etc.? We use Copilot, BriefPoint, Claude, and GPT. I did not use, I did use Duo, but found it not comprehensive. So I guess which one are you finding the most useful for, and which ones are because I know like as a software engineer, Claude is really good for coding. So which one are you using for what use cases and what you've found being the best?
Sure. We do not subscribe to Clio Duo. I agree that I don't think Clio Duo, I don't think the cost of Clio Duo right now versus the offerings of Clio Duo sync up correctly. I don't need to go on to Clio to say, what's the latest bill that I sent out? I can just look at it and find it out faster by doing it that way. So I would not personally, my opinion, I would not invest in the current Clio Duo software, although I love Clio. I just don't think that they've hit Duo where it needs to be yet. So we have tinkered around. I really like using Microsoft Copilot because it is HIPAA compliant. They just came out literally within the last 2 months. The competitor to Google's Notebook LM, Microsoft Copilot, came out with Copilot Notebook. And we use that for record review, demand letter generation, we will gently use it for court pleadings and motions, but we will do it as just an initial draft. We use Fastcase for our legal research, which also has some AI components as well. That's what we use. And then particularly with Fastcase, you can dump in the cases that your opposing counsel is using to get an AI summary of them, but then also suggest cases to look at. And then of course we use LegalMate for our phone calls. We use fireflies.ai for our meetings. I keep asking Ali, when are we going to get Dialpad conference on LegalMate? So once that happens, we'll start using that. Let me see. I'm just going through the other ones that we may use. Those are primarily, we use Adobe Acrobat AI. So like for isolated documents, if you just want to look at one document, you can use the add-on for Adobe Acrobat AI and say, what are the most concerns in this document and what recommendations would you advise us looking into? But
Yeah.
Adobe AI, if you were to put in 1,000 pages, it's not going to really be that helpful versus Copilot Notebook can consume thousands in seconds. It's unreal.
Yeah, whenever I use those things, it like blows my mind as a technical person where technology is going and how fast it's iterating and becoming better and better every single day.
I can give an example, but I know it's kind of nerdy and it's also specific to my practice. It won't be that good of an analogy, but again, if you have a very niche practice, right? So I had a client, I was preparing for an intake. I had my intake form. I had a child's individualized education plan. It's called an IEP. It's basically like the child's school plan with all the specific service hours that a child's supposed to get. And then I had a neuropsychological evaluation with enumerated recommendations. And I said, you're a special education lawyer preparing for this initial consult with a prospective client. Review all of the documents as if you are a special education attorney and hone in on what the parental concerns are. And it literally goes in and says, here's what's in the neuropsych and here's what's failing to not be in the IEP. Would you like a comparison in a graph? And I said, sure. So then it puts it in. Would you like to prepare a demand letter and questions to ask to the client during the initial consultation? And it did that. And this is literally like within seconds. It did it faster than I did just talking about it. So put that into your immigration practice or your family law practice or your personal injury practice, right?
Yep.
Estate planning practice. You'll be the pioneer of it.
Yeah.
And that was Copilot Notebook, just to confirm.
Yep. Now
Awesome.
I use Copilot because I like the Microsoft Word, Excel, SharePoint, OneDrive. Google has the same thing for folks that use Google.
Yeah. Any other questions that people have right now? Because this has been really good, asking these questions and seeing where it's all going and what tools are people using, which ones are working and which ones aren't. So if anyone has more questions about the management of the practice and how people are actually working inside law, this would be an interesting time. And like I would love to also hear from other people what they're using right now, what they're suggesting, because that's also good to know if anyone else has any other tools that they recommend or suggestions. Oh, go ahead, Eddie.
Sorry, it sounds like I'm the only one at this time. Just on tasks, does it assign tasks in Clio as well? Can you
Right
do that
now,
for me?
we are going to be working towards that. It's like one of the things that we're going to be working toward because we do generate tasks that you can assign. So it's coming. I don't want to give a timeline, but it's something that Jeff and I have talked a lot about. We've gone deep into it, and it's something that we're working on right now. So it's coming. Awesome. If that's the case, I just want to thank Jeff for doing this. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I thank everybody for coming for the seminar. Oh, sorry. Chris has another question. I just noticed it. I'm busy solo PI MedMal and Sierra defense attorney. When are you learning these software app tools? Are you go and need them on particular projects? Are you setting time aside during the work week? evenings, weekends, and how are you controlling staff use and training? That's a great question.
Yeah, that is a great question. There's a couple questions in there. First, whenever we roll out AI, we have the attorneys use it first. We research it. We also partner with folks like LegalMate, who can give us insights into certain things. We also partner with our IT vendor. So my law firm pays to have a private IT vendor. And whenever we are canvassing an AI vendor, we want to know if that vendor, what they're doing with our content, right? Are they selling it? Are they putting it into the open market? Are they putting it into open AI? So we only exclusively will use only closed AI, meaning that our prompts and our documents remain within our server system that are closed to public consumption for confidentiality purposes, for waiving of a attorney-client privilege purpose. But yes, we start with our vendors, we research them, we beta test it on a case, but I've started using it daily. We're using it every day. So
And are you setting time aside, Jeff, in your daily practice, let's say once a month, where you're spending like 3 or 4 hours going through it? Or are you perpetually like, hey, a new problem came up, I'm going to research it and see if there's an AI solution? Or is it like someone like me that approaches you, be like, hey, are you interested in this? And you can go out and do research. Like, how are you thinking about your time involvement in this? I know also you're doing the Berkeley certification. That also is probably a time for you to learn these things. So you're allocating your time in your
yeah.
daily, weekly basis on that too.
Yeah, so I do take the course. It is an online self-study course. Once you're done, you do get your certificate, and they actually give you homework, so you have to do that. But I'm also part of various Slack legal communities on Slack, where we talk about AI. We've really embraced it. I would say I probably spend, I don't know, maybe 1 to 2 hours a week on researching things and looking at it. And then the implementation is usually fast once we've decided. Another one that we're starting to use is called case status. So, unlike the Clio for Clients portal, which is, I think, great, but very reactionary, case status is very pro-action. You retain a client, and then they come back to you and say, okay, what's the status of my case now? I just retained you. What's the status of my case? Case Status has an app that also uses AI that will analyze client inquiries, and you can give them a journey experience of what their case is going to be like with your firm. So that's like another version. We just started them this week, actually.
Got it. And you answered this question. You are the one who first uses it, controls it, and sees how it works, and then you roll it out inside your firm.
That's correct. That's correct. We also use it with emails.
Yeah,
It'll check your emails. It'll prepare responses,
got it.
analyze documents, attachments.
I know you said Slack communities. I do want to just give a shout out to the ones that you're part of that you like and have found a lot of value, because that might be helpful for folks in here.
Yeah, so there's a great group called Best Era. They're very entrepreneurial thinkers. It's co-founded by Ryan McKean and his wife Allison McKean. They're actually also doing a Best Era AI conference in, let's see, where is it at? It's going
I
to
think
be
it's
in
in,
November.
yeah, Charlottetown, if I'm not wrong.
Charlotte,
Yeah,
yeah, in South Carolina. Case Status will be there. I would say just jump into it, because the train has absolutely left the station. Like, these are things that are just rolling out in real time. Who knows what will roll out next month? And the
yeah,
prompts, you need to learn the prompts. You need
yeah.
to learn and write prompts in order for it to get the best out of AI.
Cool. What range of pricing, we can expect from all these tools? Eddie, these tools are ranging from different pricing models. Some are going per seat, some are going per platform. So that's a hard question to answer depending on also what type of practice you are and your volume. There's a lot of different variables, but you can set anywhere $200 all the way up to $500 per month is what I've kind of seen, the ones that are doing things really well. So yeah. And yeah, we are coming on the time now. So I do want to really appreciate all of the questions. They has been really good. And thank you again,
Can I
Jeff, for
add one
doing
more
this.
thing to that,
Yep.
Ali?
Yep. Go ahead.
I think who was it that asked the question, Eddie, about
Yeah.
pricing? I think, respectfully speaking, that's the wrong question to ask. The pricing of it is what it is, but that's not the right question. The right question should be, how much time is it taking you otherwise to do this? And how much time can you buy back by not having to? And then amplify that and then go find something else to do during that time, which will be more profitable for you to do. That's the question you should be asking. It's not how much it is. It's a question of how much time can you buy back by purchasing these various platforms. Now, that said, to specifically answer your question, yeah, some of them are by user, some of them are by multi-year. Yes, you can try to sometimes negotiate them, but really the thing that you should be thinking about is buying back your time.
That's a very, very good way to like looking at the ROI in the end of the day. Is it going to provide you an ROI or not? If it's not worth it.
Right.
Yeah, that's a really key insight right there. On that, thank you so much again, Jeff. We really appreciate you coming here and
Oh,
answering
you're
all of our
welcome.
questions. And thank you everybody for asking questions. And I will be posting this video out so other people can view it and share it around with your firm and your friends. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me at Ali@legalmate.co. You can also find me in different communities inside the Clio user community, inside Facebook, if you are coming from there or other areas. And yeah, thank you again. And if you have any other questions for Jeff, also feel free to reach out to him, Jeff, if you're okay with that.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you, everybody. Take care.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.